you're going to see what the ending mini lesson typically looks like in a kindergarten classroom. And the format of the ending mini lesson is the same regardless of the grade level. You know, this 6th grade level, it's still the same format. You see these beautiful, nice new whiteboards? Every classroom teacher is going to get one today. So, you will have this to be able to use it day one. So there was always a visual focus in isolation. So we're taking the skill from in the context of the children's writing and isolating it for teaching purposes. So it's all of these just little fine-tuned teacher things that we do. And we do it often just intuitively. So that's why we're giving these to you so that you'll have them. Now, the hardest time of the year to do mini lessons is at the very beginning of kindergarten. And I'm going to share the very beginning of kindergarten with you and what that looks like. So, let's put up circles live and circle down. What I look for, ideally, is 2 praises and a push. So the 2 praises would be two elements that the writer at hand has done well, that I think the other children will benefit from. And the push is something that that child is not yet understanding, that the other children will benefit from. This is not gotcha. This is not let's see what you did wrong and I'll fix you up. This is done in a celebratory mode. So if that was the teaching point, just look at it for a minute and think about what could you praise and what could you build on. Just think. Okay, so a piece like that, I know, very early on, I want to introduce the word the. So I'm going to say, this was so great when Charlie Brown here needed the word the. He had no idea of any of those sounds, so the good thing he did was he made a magic line. And so in his writing, that was going to mean the word the. Watch, I'll show you how it looks in adult writing. First the letter T, then the letter H, then the letter E. Let's do a cheer for the word the. Then I'm going to find a big book like The Scrubbing Machine, and I'm going to highlight the word the. So now the kids have 2 places to find it. Then I'm going to put it up on the word wall, so now they have another place to find it. So that would be one teaching point. I'm celebrating the use of the magic line. It's not like, oh, isn't this a shame he didn't know the word the, so he had to use a magic line. This is everything is done in a celebratory mode. When I started doing writing with the kids, I realized that I think it's fully 50% of the high frequency words at the kindergarten level do not look like they sound like they should look. And so one of the first ones that I really started to think about was the word is. Is, of course, has a Z sound at the end, represented by an S. And I know that kids do better in their learning if they understand something rather than if it's just memorization. So I created this little whiz-a-viz, and I called it a kid crown because it was really a crown that a kid wore. And so it was someone's job to be the whiz-of-is. And during writing workshop time, if somebody needed the word is, they would pick up their writing notebook and they would go over to the whiz-of-is and they would copy it and then they would go sit down. And typically someone had this job for about a month and then I would make a new one and have another child. And could you pop up the whiz-of-is crown there, please? And so that's where it started. So that worked so well. I realized kids needed the word ing, word part ing. And so it was someone's job to be the king of ing. So then I was really on a roll. And I started to create a lot of them. Now the purpose here was high frequency words that don't follow
the anticipated pattern. So the word you're looking at and the word you're pronouncing are a mismatch in some way. So when you say ing, that's really hard because you don't really hear the N in there. So this one is the only one that's a morpheme chunk, a meaning chunk. The others are all rhyme chunks. Okay, so this is our latest whiz-a-viz. Everybody loves the stuffed animals, and so he's just particularly adorable. Now notice, it doesn't say whiz of. Okay? The kids learn to identify him as the whiz-a-viz. I don't care if the kids spell the word whiz correctly. When was the last time a kindergarten kid needed to write the word whiz compared to how many times they have to write the word is? Same thing for reading. Okay, so stuffed animals is an option. There's the king of ing, pretty good looking. And this is a group of them together. I asked parents to send in any of their old, large stuffed animals, and parents were so happy to get rid of them. The one in the top hat is the gent of went, and then you see the king of ing, the wizard is the little dog with the black dots. He's the fuzz of was. Sometimes we have the buzz of was, which is a bumblebee. We do it all different ways. Again, we are going for the joyfulness of this. Okay, next. The easiest way, and it is equally effective, but a little more boring, is just flat on a classroom wall. On our website, we have, I think, maybe 20 kid crown words printed out. And they're just as effective, they're just not as much fun. Okay, next one. These I love. Okay, Isabel came up with these. And what we do with these, let me see where did this get to? I brought them over already. Okay, if you get paint stirrers, you can put multiple paint stirrers in one of the cans. If you like the idea of kids being able to go over and get it and bring it back to where they're writing and then put it back. I don't like the idea of kids taking words off of the word wall because often they don't put it back quickly, and then other kids spend 20 minutes just standing there in front of the word wall just looking for the words. So when I come into classrooms, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for evidence that the classroom is alive and personalized, that there's lots of teacher writing going on, that there's lots of children's writing going on.